Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 19. The chapter which we are related with is bank reconciliation statement. The important matter regarding this question is to prepare bank reconciliation statement with the help of revised cash book. In previous lecture, we have understood how to make revised cash book. Just this word revised is new. Otherwise, we have already made cash book from question number 1 to question number 7. The performa is written over here, and here we will enter all entries in the question except these four entries: unpresented, uncredited, mistake by bank, and omitted checks. These four entries would be put over here. Remaining all entries would come in revised cash book. Rules for debit credit are same. These are the rules which we will follow. Alright guys, let's start the question. Cash book showed overdraft. Cash book of Mr. Zubair showed an overdraft balance. Overdraft means it is credit. So now first time we will start this question from the cash book. As you know that we have decided only these four entries will be present in bank reconciliation statement. Remaining all entries would come over here. Since it is overdraft balance, so you will write over here credit side overdraft balance. As you know that from here we will cut a line. I'm sure that you remember the performa of cash book from the previous question number 1 to question number 7. This whole side is debit and this whole side is credit. So here you will put the amount of balance, which is 32,000. Let's put 32,000 in amount column. So our first entry has been completed. Now next, check for 8,000 paid into the bank. And what we search from paid into the bank? Paid into the bank synonym word is deposited. And in deposited checks, we search for uncredited, uncollected, uncashed checks. And here you can see not yet been collected. So these should be put on credit side. But second matter is, please understand, we have decided four things we will put over here. So as it is uncredited checks, so we will write amount of uncredited checks over here. And this was your first entry, 8,000 uncredited checks over here. The only difference between simple reconciliation and revised cash book is four entries. Only four entries would be put in this BRS statement. Remaining all entries would be put in revised cash book. Slowly you will understand in a better way. Now next is check for rupees 6,000 issued. As you know that under issued checks, we search for unpresented checks, and it is clearly mentioned over here, unpresented checks, and we put it on debit side. And as usual, you know that unpresented checks would be present in BRS. So here you will put the amount of unpresented, and that is 6,000. Let's put 6,000 over here. Now next line is an amount of rupees 1200 interest on overdraft. What is this overdraft? Small loan, and we pay interest. Please understand, we pay. So it's an expense. Expense should be written on credit side. So we will be crediting interest on overdraft. Now the question is whether we will write on revised cash book or we will write in BRS. So these four entries fixed. These four entries are fixed for BRS. So obviously interest is not present among these four. So we will write this interest on overdraft over here. Just put narration. And let's see how much interest is on overdraft. That is 1200. Put the amount over here. Now next, interest on overdraft 8,000, 6,000, 1200. We have written, alright, 8,600 and 1200. After interest on overdraft, we have number 4 entry, collection charges. Please understand collection charges. Charges are expenses, and under expense we do credit our bank. So 28 would be credited. Now again question whether we will write it in revised cash book or in BRS. In BRS there are only 4 entries: unpresented, uncredited, mistake by bank and omitted checks. While these charges are not written in BRS, as we have fixed these 4 elements: unpresented, uncredited, mistake by bank and omitted. So this collection charges would be written in cash book. As we have decided collection charges, we will credit our bank. So here collection charges would be placed, and how much amount is collection charges? 28. Just put 28 over here. Alright, next is number 5. Mr. Zubair paid into his bank a cash 4,000, but it was wrongly credited to Mr. Yusuf's account. Now please understand, here we have see mistake by bank would be written in BRS, and you can see that was wrongly credited by bank. So this wrong credit, that means a mistake has been done by the bank, and now we will understand it should be credited or debited. Mr. Zubair paid into his bank account the cash. It means Mr. Zubair was supposed to debit the bank account. But what had happened? Mr. Zubair had debited the bank account, and bank should credit the name of Mr. Zubair. But instead of Zubair, bank had wrongly credited to Yusuf. Please note we are not concerned with the Yusuf because all these entries are directly associated with here. Please note cash book of Mr. Zubair. We are making this account for Mr. Zubair, and we have mentioned over here. Look, this account is made for Mr. Zubair, and bank had given wrong credit. Bank had given wrong credit to Yusuf. Please note we are not concerned with Yusuf. We are concerned with Zubair. So whatever had happened to Yusuf, as I have said, we will not be rectifying it. We are concerned with Mr. Zubair. Now again, I'm repeating it. Zubair had deposited amount in bank. Zubair was supposed to debit the bank account. And as opposite, bank should credit the name of Zubair. But bank had not given credit to Zubair. So how we will correct this mistake? Zubair was supposed to be credited. Bank had not given credit. To rectify this mistake, now we will credit Zubair's account. Alright. So where we will put, since it's the mistake by bank and we are needed to do it credit, put credit over here, and let's see how much amount it is. That is 4,000. Just put 4,000 over here. Now next entry, on 30th June bank received interest. Receive mean amount is coming in bank, amount in bank has been increased, increase in bank account should be debited. So 3,000 is needed to be debited. Again question whether we will write it in revised cash book or we will write in BRS. As you know, these are 4 entries fixed: unpresented, uncredited, mistake by bank and omitted check. And this receive interest is not among those 4, so it would be the part of cash book. Receive interest, it should be debited, so we will write it on debit side. Amount is 3,000 and we will put as bank interest. Alright guys, all entries have been completed. As you know that omitted checks were supposed to be written over here, but no omitted check was present in your entries. Here we are needed to make little space over here to make little difference, and now it is not needed, so we erase it. So in this way our BRS entries are completed: unpresented, uncredited, mistake by bank and omitted checks. All entries related to cash book are also completed. Now, since it is for the first time you are making it, it's time to start balancing. First step is to take the total of both sides. Total of debit side is 3000. Now we will see how much total at credit side. So we have 33,228. Then the next step is to take the larger sum and write it on total of both sides. So here we will write 33,228 and let's put the square over here. Alright, and as you know, the same total would be written on other side as well. Then we will choose the smaller side. Debit side is smaller because 3000 total is smaller than 33, and you will write balance over here. And how you will calculate the balance? Subtract smaller sum from the larger sum. Larger sum is 33 and smaller sum is 3. So we have got our balance. And please note it down. The last step is to take this balance exactly opposite side, but here you will mention that you are bringing this balance to down. So it would be called brought down balance. Amount would be similar 30,228. So guys, in this way our revised cash book has been completed. Let's put an outer border over here. Cash book is completed. Now next step, you will brought this balance to BRS. It is written on credit side. So what you will do, you will write this balance on credit side. Here you will write balance as per cash book. Why you have written on credit side? Because you have brought it down to the credit side. And same balance you will put 30,228 over here. So in this way our posting has been completed. Please understand again how you have taken this balance. You have prepared the revised cash book, calculated its balance, and you will see where this balance has brought down, the side. And since in this question you have brought this balance to the credit side, so you will write your cash book balance or revised cash book balance at credit side. Now we will repeat the same process of balancing BRS. Here we have only one amount as total, and now we will make total of debit side here, and finally you will subtract the smaller sum from the larger sum. Larger sum is 422 and the smaller sum is 6000. So here you have got the answer 36228 and our answer is 36228. It's time to put the sign. Credit side is the larger sum, so sign will be credited, and finally you will put the answer. And since, please understand, everything we have posted over here was, this question was started with the cash book, so here you will put passbook and answer was credit. Opposite to this is debit, and same answer you will be posting over here, and you can check the answer. Passbook debit 36228. Passbook debit 36228. So in this way our question has been completed. Please understand, revise this question. I'm requesting you to repeat this question for 2 to 3 times so that you can understand it well. These are 4 amounts which should be entered in BRS. Remaining all entries we have put in revised cash book. Debit credit rules are not changed. So guys, in this way our question has been completed. If you have any query, any misunderstanding, you are very open to ask your questions through messages, text, or you can directly contact to share your questions. I am 100% sure that I'll be available to answer your queries instantly. It's time to end our lecture. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.